Welcome back. Today is part 2 of my L1A1 Cerakote project with the full reveal of my newly revitalized and fully restored L1A1. If you've not yet seen part 1 of this series, put this on pause, click the link that should be appearing now, and take a look at that video first. I wanted to give you a little history lesson on the L1A1 before I show you how this rifle turned out after the Cerakote process by Pittsburgh Cerakote. The L1A1 is a British Commonwealth derivative of the weapon manufactured by Fabrique Nationale de Herzl, which is where the FN part of its name comes from. The Fusil Automatic Leger, which translates to light automatic rifle, imparts the FAL into its name. The L1A1 and the other inch pattern models can all trace their existence back to the Allied Rifle Commission of the 1950s. Now, this commission was intended to develop a singular rifle and cartridge which would become the standard issue for all NATO countries. However, the United States didn't play well in that. Initially, the United Kingdom had adopted the No. 9 Mark I, which was a 7mm rifle. However, they believed that if they changed over to the Belgian FAL, which used the American 7.62 NATO cartridge, that the United States would follow through and do the same. However, the United States didn't, and we assumed the M14 rifle instead. Now, the L1A1 has been used by over 90 countries and has become one of the most prolific weapons in modern history, earning the moniker the right arm of the free world. Now, today there are no federal restrictions, yet, on ownership of the L1A1 semi-automatic rifles. However, the 1989 import ban on military-style semi-automatic rifles made it impossible for genuine L1A1 rifles to be imported into the United States. The federal assault weapons ban, which lasted from 1994 to its expiration date about 10 years later, banned certain semi-automatic firearms by name as well as by features, which included several variants of certain military-style firearms, such as the FN-FAL and the AR-15. Although the 94 ban expired 10 years later, several states continue to enforce their own laws against military-style semi-automatic rifles. I am lucky. This is a pre-ban model, which is mostly number matching. And it was in terrible, terrible shape, and this is what wanted me to revitalize it, renew it, restore it, modernize it a little bit, and put it back into useful service in my arsenal. So let's take a look at the before and how horrible the condition of this rifle was. So here you have a little bit of a better picture and overview of how horrible of a state of repair this L1A1 is in. You can see there the paint that's just been caked onto the lower receiver. It's chipped, it's scratched. It looks like it was just regular paint. Compared to what the new scope and the scope mount looks like, you can see that the lower receiver is just absolutely horrid. Orange peeled, multi-layers of paint for whatever reason. The magazines just look terrible. Not that magazines are ever really good looking, but they're going to be. And we zoom in there, you can see the texture that's in the paint, the scratches. It looks like they painted over scratches that had been scratched into previous paint. The quad rails don't look terrible. That's because they're fairly new, but if you look inside and look at the heat shield that's inside the quad rail that goes over the gas tube, it's pretty beat up as well. The gas block, it's got paint drips. I don't know if you can see it too well or not, but it was built up. And the barrel is just absolutely horrible. I can't imagine it could even look any worse than it does now. So I took a little trip up to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, to Pittsburgh Cerakote, where I found Chris Mahalik of Pittsburgh Cerakote and sat down with him and discussed the L1A1. Now, they are a certified Cerakote applicator and very professional at what they do, and I deferred to their judgment on what I thought should be done to the weapon. They have a plethora of different Cerakote colors, and Chris's judgment in regards to that was outstanding in relation to what I thought would look good on the weapon. So the process started. We kicked it off with the acetone bath and then moved over from there to the aluminum oxide blasting, which took off all the degreasing and residue and old finish on the weapon. Chris mixed up the Cerakote and started the application process, and the entire way through, these guys were complete professionals. They treated my weapon with the utmost care and concern. And then we have the final product. Now you can see here the before, and very quickly here you'll see the after of the weapon. But let's break this down and get some close-ups, and you can take a look at exactly what Pittsburgh Cerakote was able to do with what you see here versus the final product, which is what you see here.